Today, we're drinking coffee and comparing the Triumph 18 to the Clifton 7. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. My name is Brendan, and if this is your first time on the channel, we talk all things running shoes, running, Maffetone training, in the eyes of a non-elite runner such as myself. So if you're into running and all that type of stuff, consider hitting that subscribe button right down there, and it would really mean a lot if you could hit the like button. Helps with the channel a ton. Let's get into the comparison. Now, if you want the full technical spec rundown for each of these shoes, check in the description down below. I'll link my first impressions to both of them. I don't want to waste your time with all the nitty-gritty drops and weights and all that type of stuff, so I'm gonna leave that up to the videos down below. Let's have a drink of coffee and get into the first comparison. Off with the comparison between the midsole and ride feel of the Triumph 18 to the Clifton 7. The Triumph 18 has that same PWRRUN Plus midsole that we've grown and known to love in the Triumph 17, as well as the Freedom 3. This PWRRUN Plus midsole, for those of you that aren't familiar, is a very cushiony foam, but in my eyes, I don't think that you're losing a whole lot of energy when you're compressing this foam. What I find on my runs in the PWRRUN Plus midsole is that when I compress it, it's going back up to that uncompressed state very quickly, and I'm not sinking into the shoe, which in my eyes makes it seem that I'm not losing a bunch of energy to that absorption. Who knows, maybe I'm wrong. So the PWRRUN Plus midsole is a little bit firm, honestly, when you look at the stack height here. I thought it would be a bit more mushy and gushy, but by no means is that the case. It's keeping me protected, yes, that's for sure, but it's not letting me sink into it. Now, the Clifton 7, on the other hand, that EVA midsole loves you to sink right into it. It's gushy and mushy, just like you'd expect from a very high cushion shoe. The Clifton 7 midsole, I do unfortunately find that it's a bit harder for me to maintain a certain pace in the Clifton 7 when compared to the Triumph 18. I find in the Clifton 7, I'm losing a ton of energy because I'm really compressing that midsole. But I will say, for my easy days, that's kind of what I want. I want that foam to absorb it so my muscles and joints are not feeling any of that fatigue from the constant pounding. For the easy days, I definitely do prefer the EVA midsole in the Clifton 7, but if I had to give overall midsole and ride feel a winner here, it would have to be the Triumph 18, just because I do find that the PWRRUN Plus midsole is a bit more versatile than the EVA Biz midsole, because I don't like mushy and gushing around when I'm on my runs. I don't like feeling like I'm sinking into the shoe on my everyday runs, only on my easy runs. So overall, midsole and ride feel, we're going with the Triumph 18. But not so fast, because here we go with the weight comparison, and this is where the Clifton 7 could bring it right around. Now, the Clifton 7 comes in at 271 grams compared to, are you ready for this? 339 grams in my size 10.5 US men's for the Triumph 18. This feels like a brick. 70 grams in the difference between these two shoes. It's quite crazy, actually. So 140 grams difference for the pair. That is just wow. The Clifton 7, you can definitely tell in hand how much heavier it is, or how much lighter the Clifton 7 is. It's actually, you know what? If you don't like heavy shoes, I don't think that the Triumph 18 is the right one for you. If you like those lighter shoes that almost feel like there's nothing on your feet, although it doesn't appear that it would feel like nothing's on your feet, the Clifton 7 would definitely be the right choice for you in terms of weight, and there's no getting around it. The Triumph 18, by the numbers, loses this battle of the weight, because for the pair, you're looking at 140 grams heavier or 70 grams per shoe heavier. Sorry, you gotta cut down a little bit of weight. It has to cut down a little bit of weight. Moving on to the final round, and that is going to be the upper comfort. Will the Triumph 18 win and become triumphant, or will the Clifton 7 squash its dreams? Let's find out right now. Hoka took a very, very different approach compared to Saucony when in terms of designing these uppers. Actually, doing this video made me realize just how different these two shoes are. When I first went into this, I thought it'd be pretty close when trying to compare them. It might be hard, but definitely not hard. So Hoka took that more streamlined approach. The upper is an engineered mesh, extremely breathable, very light. There's not a whole lot of plushness on the Clifton 7 upper. Very comfortable, a great lockdown. Great lockdown through the heel actually. They have a little bit of a reinforced heel here, but nothing crazy. And it does it a great job. I do find that the L flare does feel great on my Achilles, but it's not for everyone. The laces are just standard laces that are nice and thin that we're all used to in terms of laces. The tongue, not super plush. The Triumph 18 on the other line, now this is the definition of a plush upper. There's nothing that's not plush about this upper. The tongue is extremely plush. The heel collar is extremely built up, solid as a rock. The ankle collar, very, very plush. The laces, plush. I think this is also an engineered mesh also, but I don't know if they have more overlays or what, but this is a much, much hotter shoe. Where the Hoka upper is more just like a streamlined approach, this is a very built up approach, and they just went for it. They said, we're gonna make a plush upper, and someone probably said, no, you're not. And they said, yes, we are, just wait for it, and they delivered this. Very, very plush upper, but it does deliver exceptional comfort. And that, I do prefer a more comfortable upper, but it is gonna be more hot. So that's the consideration for yourself. For me, in terms of upper, I do find that the Triumph 18 upper is very, very fantastic. The lockdown is a little worse than the Triumph 18, but using the runner's knot, I was able to achieve that great lockdown. On the Clifton 7, great lockdown was achieved as well. For me, I think I'm gonna have to go with the Triumph 18 upper just because I prefer that more plush upper. It's extremely comfortable. It's not for everyone though. It's definitely not for everyone. If you don't like a very heavy upper, the Clifton 7 is gonna be the better choice for you. Or if you live in a hot climate, the Clifton 7 is definitely gonna be the right choice for you just because that upper is a little bit more streamlined. Now we're gonna do a bonus round, and that's the price. The Triumph 18 in Canada comes in at $195, where the Clifton 7 comes in at $170. I'll put the pricing in US right here in Great British Pounds. But for me, $25 in the difference, I think it's warranted. And I'll explain to you why. The Triumph 18, I do feel that it's gonna last you a little bit longer in terms of build quality. The outsole is like this crazy amount of rubber. The midsole, it just feels like it's like better build quality in hand. And this upper, I think, will last you longer as well. I think the Triumph 18 will last anywhere upwards of like maybe even 1,000 miles, maybe. I'm gonna have to do the test. But on the Clifton 7 side of things, I'm thinking 300 to 500 miles. I don't know, I could be wrong, but you never know. But in terms of price, I do think that the Triumph 18, although $25 more, the price is warranted. Overall, for me, the Triumph 18 is gonna come out ahead in this battle just because I do really prefer that PWRRUN Plus midsole. It's grabbed a hold of my heart and it has a grip on it. The upper I find extremely comfortable for me, and yeah, I do prefer the Triumph 18 over the Clifton 7 for everyday daily use. However, the Clifton 7 is still in my rotation for my easy days. So far, I've yet to find a better shoe in terms of easy day use than the Clifton 7. I'm just telling you straight up, the Clifton 7 is a magnificent, magnificent easy day shoe with this beautiful EVA foam. It's perfect for easy days. Now, I'm sure that some of you will find the Clifton 7 to be a better daily trainer than the Triumph 18, and I'd love to hear your thoughts down below. Let me know, do you think that I've made the right call crowning the Triumph 18 the king of this battle? It is triumphant. Or should I have gone with the Clifton 7? Leave your thoughts and comments and rationale down below. That's all for today, folks. I hope you have a fantastic evening. I'll catch you on the next one. I'm gonna go for a run in the Triumph 18.